well, in the previous chapter and in the book of Revelation, we see that the day of Yahweh, although it is normally known as the Shabbat, obviously when it's talking about bad things coming to the earth, people see it as the end of times. But they are actually connected, because the Shabbat is the day of Yahweh, and the real or the most important Shabbat will be the 1,000 years. For it is written that to Yahweh one day is as 1,000 years to humans. So that was to tell us that the 7 days in which Yahweh made creation and made the Shabbat on the seventh was to say to us or prophesy that humanity or this reality would last 7,000 years. One day, 1,000 years. Therefore, the 7 days of creation to represent 7,000 years of this reality, temporal reality. And the seventh millennium would be the one of rest, the Shabbat. And that is the day of Yahweh. 1,000 years in which the earth will rest from evil ways of the wicked. So that's why at the beginning of that day, and even throughout the day, but in a certain part, the evil people will be suffering. But mainly at the beginning, they will be punished, taken out of this earth, and thrown into hell for 1,000 years. So, also, as I have explained, when we see the sixth seal of Revelation, we see that the day of Yahweh begins. Like I said, the day of Yahweh is 1,000 years. Mainly, when we see these as only the end times or the book of Revelation, most people see it as the day of Yahweh being the period in which the plagues will fall on people. But I repeat, scripture says that 1,000 years is a day to Yahweh. So, in this case, we see that the day of Yahweh is coming, the Shabbat, the real Shabbat, the millennium. Yahushua himself said when he was being accused of breaking the Shabbat, he said, "My Father, Yahweh, still works until this day, and I work, and so I work." And he was talking about how the true Shabbat is the millennium, and Yahweh has not rested from working because he has kept reality existing. And that is work, in the sense of Yahweh keeping it existing. Every moment he is working to keep us in existence and everything else. Therefore, Yahushua was explaining about the highest way of seeing the Shabbat, about the true Father who has not rested, unlike what people think of God whom they worship. So, as I was saying, in the sixth seal, the 1,000 years begin. The seventh seal are the seven trumpets of the book of Revelation. In the seventh trumpet, the harvest will happen, when the transformation of the chosen few will happen. And those seven trumpets will happen in a matter of months. It seems to be that a matter of 7 months, not necessarily one trumpet per month, not necessarily, but I'm saying that because of the way we see how the seals will fulfill, and how in one seal all the seven trumpets will fulfill. And just like the pains of a woman giving birth that get closer to each other, so will the plagues happen closer to each other the more time goes by. So we see the reason why Yahweh mentions the trumpet. In Hebrew, it says Shofar, which is the horn of the ram, which was turned into a music instrument, which would be used to worship Yahweh, to announce the feasts, to announce the people to assemble either for a feast or to study and to go to war. So the shofar is very important. I repeat the verse: blow the trumpet, blow the shofar in Zion, and sound an alarm in my set apart mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of Yahweh is coming, for it is at hand. A day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness, like the morning clouds spread over the mountains. A people come, great and strong, the like of whom has never been, nor will there ever be any such after them, even for many successive generations. So Yahweh is talking about how at the very beginning of the day of Yahweh, there will be an army that will be so strong and great in number that has never been in history nor will be for many successive generations. The interesting thing is that, well, one would say, if after that eternity begins, why wouldn't it say that there won't be an army like that? Yet it says even for many successive generations, as if there will be eventually an army like it. And we see that after 1,000 years, what we are reading here is right at the beginning of those 1,000 years. In 1,000 years, there are some generations that come and go. After the 1,000 years, we see in the book of Revelations that right before the last and great judgment, the nations of the world will gather and come against Jerusalem, and there will be many like the sand of the sea. And Yahweh will bring fire from heaven and destroy them. So even after this army that is being mentioned in Yoel for the beginning of the 1,000 years, there will be another one, which is the one called Magog, which comes with Gog at the end, the war of Gog and Magog. But I'm talking about the one mentioned in the book of Revelation by the end of the 1,000 years, right before the judgment. I repeat, a day of darkness and gloominess. When people hear the day of Yahweh, many people think of something that is beautiful, obviously, because Yahweh is good, but they do not understand that because of the way in this world, because of the way in which this world has been run for so long by evil people, the tares of the parable of the wheat and tares, because those who have control have worshipped Lucifer pretty much, and many other things that have brought so many darkness into this reality. It is because of that when the day of Yahweh begins, he will have to clean this earth first, and that means a lot of destruction, a lot of darkness and gloominess, because at the end, that is pretty much what people have asked for through their actions. So that will be pretty much the result of humanity's thoughts, actions. And it says, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness. Like the morning clouds spread over the mountains, a people come great and strong. Like I said, the sixth seal will be the beginning of the 1,000 years, the beginning of the day of Yahweh. The seventh seal, which is right after it, are the seventh trumpets. The fifth trumpet is an army that will come out of the bottomless pit. Either will possess people or something like it, but will destroy a lot of the earth and pretty much torture people for 5 months. Afterwards, in the sixth trumpet, there will be an army, which I already mentioned it. Well, both armies, I mentioned them in the previous chapter, Yoel 1. In this chapter, the Almighty is about to explain or describe in detail what that army will be like. So Like the morning clouds spread over the mountains, a people come, great and strong, the like of whom has never been, nor will there ever be any such after them, even for many successive generations.